For the fans, by the fans. Welcome to the only Angels postgame show that keeps it real, win or lose. No filters, no fluff, just raw reactions right after the final out. The Golden Stamos is polished up and somebody's about to take it home. A clutch hit, a game-saving grab, or just straight up hustle. We see you. But if you played like trash, you're getting the dreaded Nacho Night Award. We saw the missed calls, we saw the blown saves, the clutch moments, and the disasters too. Your comments are front and center, and yeah, we read all of them. Wanna let loose? Call in and sound off live. No scripts, no suits, no spin. This is raw, this is real, this is where the fans take over. This is the Heady Postgame Show with Todd Fox. For the fans, by the fans.
I'm a fox. My name's Todd.
Hey, welcome into the Halos in the Infield post-game show. I am your host, Todd Fox, on a wonderful Wednesday as the Angels get it done, not on a Gooby Tuesday, but a wonderful Wednesday, winning game 3 of a 4-game set tonight in a dramatic game. That home run by Soler, those kind of home runs have been few and far between, but that's what he can give you when he's locked in. And again, he guessed the right pitch, and we'll get into that. What a wonderful game for the fans that were there. They couldn't stop showing the Angel fans there in the uniforms or whatever, their get-ups in left field. And our boy Cowboy Vince, a part of Angels Halos in the Infield. He does a podcast with Fernando on Friday, the Halo Honk, or the Halo Hoedown, I should say, and the Hot Take Hoedown, as they call it. They do a show that comes out every Friday morning. And guess who was there with him? Cowboy Vince was standing there with him the whole time. He's the one with the cowboy hat. If you don't know, every time they showed him, that's part of Heady. That's part of what you're watching. So again, why I say this is a channel by the fans, for the fans, by the fans, is because we're with you in the stands. We're always there. If I'm not there, like I've been sick, our boys are there. We always represent, and we're true Angel fans. We always have been, always will be, through thick and thin. We're not the fake ass podcast that, they literally live in North Hollywood and go to one game. They've been to one game this year, and Gavin hasn't been to any. So that should tell you exactly what kind of fans they really are. And again, they steal our takes anyway, but I had to get that out there. Anyway, let's get to the fun. Let's get to the fun of tonight's game. This is why we love watching the game, right? Because as low as we were last night, and we kind of had a Halos in the Infield coping session at the end of last night's show, tonight's game was polar opposite of what happened from last night. And they were able to turn the page. The pitching was rough. I'll give them that. That was down. But like they said on the broadcast tonight, there was only 2 strikeouts. That's the least amount of times they've struck out all season. So the fact that they were putting pressure, and again, early in the year, all they could talk about was launch angle this, launch angle that. And all I'm saying is that this season, or that, as we progress into the season, it's not about that. It's about what we've been talking about this whole time. Small ball, or just getting guys on base, because that's how Texas was pressuring us all night. Get that leadoff guy on, steal a base, get a single, hell, get an extra out, like we'll talk about later. And again, this is what happens when you're able to pressure the opponent. Good things happen. You keep the runners on base, you keep them moving, you keep pressuring that pitcher, and again, things will go your way. So with that being said, let's talk about how the game went. The Angels win 11-8. They now go to 45-47. Again, creeping around that 500 spot. They're 3 games out of that final wild card. 11 runs, 12 hits for the Angels, 8 runs, 10 hits for the Rangers. The win in relief for me, and again, I said it before, I'll say it again, the misuse of this bullpen since Ron Washington is gone has been atrocious. You can pitch these guys more than 1 inning or 2/3 of an inning, but for some reason they were look at how they ran this bullpen tonight. Again, I'm gonna come off a little rough, even though it was a good game. Hendricks, 3 2/3, 4 runs, 6 hits, earned 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, 78 pitches. He could have still kept in there and pitched, but no, we go to Brock Burke for 5 pitches. We don't bring him back for the next inning. We bring in Zephyr John, clean inning. Do we bring him back again? No. We go to another pitcher. 2/3 of an inning, Bachman. Do we bring him back? No. We go to Detmers, an inning. Do we bring in Brogdon, 1/3 of an inning? We bring in Fermin, an inning, and then Jansen, an inning. And again, this soft-ass squad and coaching staff and analytics staff will say, hey, we can't pitch these guys again tomorrow. And that's what troubles me, and that's what bothers me. That's what upsets me, because as good of a win it is tonight, we're going to hear, well, they taxed the bullpen. The bullpen's been taxed. You taxed it yourself, and you didn't even tax them, and you'll shut them down because they throw less than 10 pitches. But let's get to the good of tonight. Again, four home runs tonight, 1 walk. You could do better there, but you got only two strikeouts. You got the 11 runs on 12 hits, 2 home runs for Mike Nelson Trout. He's 6 away from 400, and feels like he should be at nearing 500 or 550, but he's had so many derailments of his career so far. It's truly sad, but he should be way better. Now, let's get to the scoring. First inning, Seaman, as much as you guys like to call him that, or Marcus Semien, singled up the middle, shortstop in the first inning. Of course, the Rangers get a first inning run, 1-0. Then Hishikasako hits a 2 solo shot. I butchered his name, but he hits a home run. It's 2-0. Then Semien comes up, hits a sacrifice fly. It's 3-0. And all that happened with Wally Joyner in the booth, which was awesome to hear from him. And it was 3-0. Then you have Shonowell hitting a sacrifice fly and a nice play to make it 3-1. Mike Trout, we're all like, man, this guy's not clutch. He can't come through right here. Bam! Straight center field. It's 3-3. That lead doesn't last because Berger grounded into a fielder's choice. And again, Langford was dead to right at home. The game should have stayed at 3-3. Whatever reason, again, when you give pitchers too much time or they overlook things or overthink things, I should say, he throws a wild pitch home and Langford just walks in, and there's the 4th run of the inning, and it was 4-3. Or excuse me, 4-4, because Adele had doubled in a run. I'm sorry, and Ward scored. And that hit by Adele was great. I mean, he hit that one on the screws of the bat, drove it to the wall. Ward actually hustled in to score. It was 4-3. And then you had that run at home plate. So it's 4-4. And then that allowed an extra run as Smith would double in Berger to make it 5-4. But lo and behold, here comes Darno again, filling in for O'Hoppe, providing the offense, tying the game at 5. Then Trout would hit a solo blast, and 394, I should say. See, I got my mindset on 500. He makes it 5-5, or 6-5, I'm sorry. And then Hisakako, whatever his name is, single to center. Langford scored. It was 6-6. Then Semien hit a 2-run homer off of Detmers. And Detmers, again, they got the extra out, I should say. Let me go back to the 6th inning. So before the Hig Asoika, whatever, single to center and Langford scored, Langford was out. And they went to New York, and surprise, New York's like, you know what? No. And it's, again, how many times have we been screwed over by New York? And New York screwed us over there by not calling him out. And that run scored automatically, and that made it 6-6 because they got that extra out on the double, and then, or single, I should say, because he would go and steal second and then come around. And then Semien, again, Detmer's throwing fastball after falling behind to Semien. Semien is a good professional hitter, and he saw it, and he waited on it, and he saw it one more time and put it over the fence, 8-6, and you're thinking, okay, game over. The Angels pissed this one away. But right before Trout couldn't get it done, you had 2 men on, second and third, heads-up play by Neto to go from, they had 2 men on, and it was a fly ball to center field. The runners both tagged. And so they made it to Renifo went to third, and then Neto gambled and went to second and got there. And then right away, Taylor Ward, who I'm not a fan of, singled to right, drove in the 2 runs, were tied up. And then Soler. Again, when Soler is healthy, when he's dialed in, he's not suffering and struggling, trying to look for those curves, the sweepers, and the sliders down and away, down and inside, or down over the plate. And he's more locked in, waiting for his pitch. And his pitch is clearly the curveball. This is not, or the slider, either one of those. And when he's waiting on it and he's locked in, I mean, that's a pretty swing, dude. I mean, no one has a prettier swing than Ken Griffey Jr., in my opinion, on like a no doubt home run. But his home run swing and his just nonchalant, like, yeah, man, I'm a badass, as he went around the plate, that got me pumped. That was awesome. Big time home run. And of course, the Angels get a runner on. Neto, takes second base, proceeds to take third, the hit and run, the pressure, and, a guy who would have been playing, he had to go and cover second base. The shortstop Seager moves over. Shonowell puts it where he's not. And that's what you want to do. And that's great baseball. That's heads up baseball. That's putting the pressure on the defense, that add-on run. And then, of course, Kenley Jansen comes in and gets his 16th save. So, hey, nice win after last night. It's a nice goddamn win after being so disappointed from last night's game. So I'm happy the Angels came out and provided us with the opportunity to play our favorite song, which is So, yes, I wish they would stop about the exit velocity, but I don't know if that's going to be a thing because, again, we love to preach exit velocity. But I can say tonight that tonight's game was really fun to watch. Again, last night they robbed us of 3 hours if you stuck in, or 2 hours if you were able to handle all the goobyisms and everything that happened that went wrong last night. It was good to bounce back and get a big victory tonight because, again, in the standings, I hate looking at the standings this early, but 3 games out of a wild card again keeps you buyers. That's all you got to remember as an Angel fan. I'm sorry my voice is still not returned, but I will be at the stadium tomorrow. I'm gonna give it a go. Wanted to go tonight, but the woman was not feeling it tonight, so I couldn't push her. So with that being said, Angels got a big win tonight. Angels had a chance to beat Toronto twice. Actually, it was 3 times, Jonas. We had that one. We only lost by 1 run in every game. So big win tonight. And let's give out the player of the games before we get into the comments, because we got a lot of comments trickling in on all the platforms right now, and we always read them all. So be patient. I will get to your comment. I promise you. I'll read through the ones on TikTok first, and I'll jump in on the other ones over here that are piling up on me right now. So with that being said, the player of the game. I want to give it to a guy like, Darno, who had another nice night. But how can you not take it away or give it to Mike Trout? Mike Trout tonight, 2 for 5, 3 RBIs, the 2 home runs, and raising his average up to 233. And the biggest thing for me, the biggest encouragement for me, because this is what I would love to see. Now, he's not, as a power hitter, you're never going to put up this many zeros in this particular column. But if he could put in a 0 every now and then, boy, that would be really, really nice, Mike Trout, because he had no strikeouts tonight. That impresses me. It really impresses me because we're so accustomed to this guy just swinging and missing, whiffing, and just striking out looking. It's like, it's nice to see that not only him, but Taylor Ward also contributed with no strikeouts. So, again, whenever those two can not strike out, because Taylor Ward's got 100 strikeouts already. Mike Trout's not too far behind, and that's with the injury. So, again, anytime he puts up zeros in that strikeout column, that's as good as another hit for me. At least a hit, maybe a walk even. Throw in a walk and a hit. That's what that adds up to for me. But putting the ball in play, you always want a dude like that to do that. Same thing with Taylor Ward. As much as I am not a fan of his, if he puts the ball in play, we're better off for it. So both those guys without them striking out is a tremendous plus. And so I love it. Good on him. Now, who gets the Nacho Night Award?
For the worst performance of the night. Congratulations. You played yourself.
Moldy cheese, stale chips, what a sight. All your dreams gone tonight. Had a bad night, lost the fight. No more crunch, just take a bite. It's the Nacho Night Award.
Nacho Night Award has to go to the former first-round pick, Kumar Rocker. 4 1/3 innings pitched, 6 runs, 6 hits allowed, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, 3 home runs allowed, 67 pitches thrown, 42 were strikes. And you're going to say, well, that's not bad. 42 out of 67, that's a good strikeout to ball ratio. However, his ERA is 6.39. The ones that are in the strike zone are getting hit pretty hard. So it's not like he's walking a lot of guys. He's just not fooling a lot of guys. And for a guy who was supposed to come out of the draft as a strike him out, ace of your staff, not so much. This dude is barely holding on to a job with the Rangers, and I think he wouldn't have a starting job had it not been for all these injuries. So with that being said, let's jump into some of these comments. I'm going to go through TikTok real quick on some of the ones that Mike DePola says, let's go. W for today, man, right there. Also, Misa says, I'm excited for UCLA Bruins sports. Okay, I mean, you might be listening to the wrong show. Canaro says, we need to make trades for pitchers. Mike also says, and both came from Neto. Squad was locked in tonight. Also, the big win for the Angels. Need to win tomorrow for the end of the weekend series. Corey says, winning tomorrow would be enormous. Mike also says, if this is who Joe is now, I like our future, future star right there. And look at Darno hitting better than Logan right now. And I'll tell you one thing tonight, too. You had some crappy defense out there by Taylor Ward, that one that he dropped off the wall. And then again, that's why I keep saying he's a liability. Aaron says, great win today. Also, Mike says he won $300 with that single by Neto. Angels had it. Already read that one. Let's see. Trout delivers today. And what does everyone do after deliver? That's what a leader should play. And yes, that's what we want from Mike Trout, but he's got to be consistent with it. The trade deadline is going to be pretty crazy. I don't know if the Angels are going to be big players or not. Again, we've got a lot of baseball left to be played before we get to that spot. Angels fan first, chipping in with some W's. Boo Bears Mommy checks in with a super sticker, and we appreciate you big time right there. Absolutely. And she also gets Spritz o'clock, baby, because you need a botanical spritz after a game like this. It's all about the spritz.
Yeah! I love winning, man. I fucking love winning. You know what I'm saying? Like better than losing.
Spritz o'clock, Angels play. Win or lose, we toast today. Sip and cheer, no matter score. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more.
I love winning, man. I fucking love winning. You know what I'm saying?
Ruben says Soler reminds me of Pedro Serrano. So I got that reference from the Indians movie. He does. He has that home run swing. Tamir 20 says back and forth game, but Soler comes through in the clutch. Speaking of which, Patrick says balls in my mouth, baby. So he's excited about it. And
For you to check out what I want. I want balls and
in his mouth. Baldwin says Stukas, baby. We played that one. Also, we won. Cue Stukas. We did cue that. Lakers fan in Japan says bring on the offense back tomorrow. We got to bring it back. Baldwin says bring these unis in permanently. And that's a subject for another day, guys and gals, because I'm telling you, Angels are due for a rebrand. Do you realize it's been since 2002 since the Angels have worn the red and white? And I would love an old school look for this Angels team. It does look super sexy. And the one thing we haven't seen when they wear throwback jerseys is that really darkish, blackish gray. It's more like a almost like a silver when they used to wear their road jerseys as the California Angels. Man, oh man, I missed that look. Such a clean look. I hope it returns. Boo Bear's mommy says if we get over 500, you'll get 200. I like that. Lakers fan says, I mean, it may not be good for Logan, but I do want d'Arnaud in there as getting at bats. And right now, you can't argue that right now. Luke Johnson says, tough night for the Trout haters. Tyler says, wow, we won a high-scoring game. Cue FanDuel. You know, Jason from Texas was messaging me, and he said, you know what? They were talking, the Texas announcers, because he's in Texas, obviously. He said the Texas announcers were talking about how beautiful the sunset was, and right in the middle of the sentence, you heard a loud-ass, you heard this from our great stadium. Good God, was there a lot of those tonight? Jesus. Also, Baldwin says, hey, my voice is still not 100% to do that imitation yet. Jesus says, how about a Halo honk applause for fighting back to win? Yeah, that was a great night tonight as far as them coming back. I know it's against the Rangers, not really a thunderous team out there, but hey, we'll take it, right? There's your Halo honk. Alfonso says, Stamos Award is offensive night, Nacho night, Stamos Award for the offense, Nacho Night Award for Taylor Ward defense. He was terrible tonight. Great weather, Angels win, solid night. Oh, might as well play this because he's asking for it. Again, if you ask for it, I'll play it. And that's our boy Tyler here saying plus shipping. So let's give you a quick PSA.
Attention Halo fans, the Haiti merch is here, and it's louder, bolder, and more honest than ever before. Start at the top with the Halos in the Infield baseball hat. Clean, classic, and ready for game day. And only $16 plus shipping. Or keep it breezy with the classic trucker hat. Old school mesh, new school heat. Only $15 plus shipping. Rep the rebrand in style. Show your loyalty loud and proud with the Halos in the Infield podcast team. Now featuring the...
Stop it right there because it's like 1:40. I have to play it later. We got a lot of comments to get through. I don't want to make you guys wait. But I will play it later. Kylo says, at this point of the season, at this point, did this season start going downhill? It's frustrating because this team is actually playing great besides yesterday. And that's the conundrum that we're in right now. Angels need another bat. I think they're going to be interested in a starting position or bullpen spot. Corey says, do you think the Angels should go after DJ LeMahieu? Yes, because DJ LeMahieu was a guy that I liked a few years ago, and he would be a nice stopgap in the middle, but you'd have to get rid of Newman at this point. Yeah, and you remember you might give up on another player too. I don't see it happening because you have Chris Taylor and you have Moore and you have all these other guys. It just doesn't work, but it would have been a great move. Jim Hoyt says, this just in Anaheim Stadium, nachos are free per big, beautiful bill when used as colonic prep for colonoscomies. Ask Todd how effective it is. They still are. Yeah, I had a bad experience last time with a helmet nachos at the stadium. That was disgusting. Alfonso says, Gavin's show is already over 3 minutes long. Tyler says, laugh out loud. I saw Cowboy Vince in the crowd. Yeah, Cowboy Vince was there, dude. Jam on X says, Neto with a beautiful base running late tonight. Dude, that was awesome. Again, taking off from second and then running on a hit and run. It was beautifully placed by our best, I think, situational hitter. I mean, the last, I say 4 or 5 times when Shonawell's been up there and they need a ground ball or they need a fly ball with a runner at third, he does it. He just comes through. Or they need to move a runner that is like Neto at second base to third base. He hits a chopper to second base is what you're supposed to do. I mean, he's locked in. I love it. Shonawell is really playing really good. Drew says, how long is Moore going to be out for? It looks like right after the All-Star break, he should be back. User says, you think we can win tomorrow? Yes, I do. And we'll go over the pitching matchups a little later in the show. Dan Rio says, Kid Fish finally came through. Stukas for me and me love you long time. We played the Stukas. We'll play the me love you long time.
There's a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight which makes me so horny and me love you long time.
There you go. Jim also says 260 had the buffet going tonight. Carne asada and El Pastor tacos. Yes, if you're in 260, Jim, you can see me over there, and Jim is over there as well, and he usually has the feast going on over there. Drew says, I know I'm late to the party on this, but what happened to Paris? Paris was pulled the other day, and he's on the 10-day IL. I don't know the injury specifically because they really didn't list it, but he's just going to be out for a little bit. Also, oh, my God. He has always had the real fans. Yes, they have. Boo Bear's mommy. Jesus says, also great to have Joyner in the broadcast, listening to classic Angel stories. And it's funny, Jesus, that they asked him a question about if he was around for game 5 through 7 against Boston in 86, would things have gone differently? And he straight up, without hesitation, said, absolutely, I think things would have been different. I think the Angels would have won that World Series, not only beaten the Mets, but they would have beat the Red Sox. And Joyner's at bat was missing in game 5, especially at Anaheim Stadium, which was still one of the saddest games my dad's ever seen, and still talks about that to this day. The magic is in the throwbacks, Tyler says. Courtney says, can't wait to see this thing, this kind of hitting in 2 weeks. We all know what kind of hitting approach doesn't last consistently. Yes, I hope I hope they just finally say, okay, let's give up on the launch angle. Ambush says, I actually like when you're not in the stands, so we get the post-game show quicker. Okay. Thanks, Ambush. Also, you think we can win the series against the Diamondbacks? Yes, I think 2 out of 3 at minimum. I would love a sweep. We have the talent to do it. Angels front offense is for sure going to have their eye on Gallen this week. It's a good time to scout him. JT says, how is Jansen's windup not considered a balk? I just noticed that tonight because he does that kind of like spin that pitchers have gotten away. I don't know if you guys remember Hideo Nomo. I'm trying to think of some other pitchers that do that long pause in between the pitch during the windup. There's a few guys that did it. Who's a guy from Seattle? He was there a couple years ago. He was in Cincinnati too. We actually had him last year. I want to say, what was his name? He had that stutter step pitch too. Aaron says this team is bipolar. I think that should be under their name. Don Hammond says, Todd, how does 714 tickets work? I can get a discount on anything sports related. Why, yes, sir. Yes, you can. And it's a little bit like this.
Tired of paying service fees and taxes for tickets and concerts? Well, guess what? There's an alternative, and that is 714 Tickets. Yes, 714 Tickets is the price you see, is the price you get. Ron Holt has set up this website for you and for us as Halos in the Infield fans. And by putting in HITI in the promo code, you get 10% off of your purchase every time. Not just one time when you sign up. No, every time. And not just for the Angels, not just for the Dodgers, for basketball, football, hockey, and concerts. Use the 10% off HITI code as much as you want. Isn't that great? Plus, you get 5% more of savings off of your purchases for future purchase of tickets going forward. 714 Tickets is awesome because, again, the price you see is the price you get, and you don't pay all these crazy service fees and taxes. If it's $28, well, guess what? It's $28 plus the 10% off you get by using Halos in the Infield, HITI, at checkout. So what are you waiting for? 714 Tickets, 714 Tickets. Tell them Halos in the Infield sent you.
Okay, so there it is. There it is, my friend. You ask and you shall receive. Yes, and it was, I saw Johnny Cueto. So you guys are right. Johnny Cueto is a guy that has that kind of non-balk or close to a balk thing. So yeah, they're allowing certain guys to do it, but they're looking at the egregious ones. Well, they let the egregious ones go by because it's supposedly part of their windup. But if you step off and that kind of stuff, they'll call those. Rally Chris says Angels are so back. Dead says, why is it that when Soler hits a massive go-ahead bomb, he has a look on his face like he's smelling Rally Monkey's ass? Either that or he's smelling more money in his bank account. Grillmaster says, was it Ward clutch hit? What the hell is going on out there? Lombardi.
What the hell's going on out here?
Exactly. Also, Landon says Chanel should have, or Shonawell should have bunted when Neto and Renifo were on first and second base. Granted, you want them to bunt, but they're never going to do it. Never going to do it. I don't know why, but that was the right call right there. But then again, Shawneewell's really hot. So Alfonso says the Halo brothers' big question this morning was, at what time did you turn off the game? Mike and John said they turned it off in the 6th inning. They weren't at the game. They're never at the game, dude. They live way up north. So yeah, there's no way. They should be. I think they're closet Dodger fans, to be honest with you. Buy or sell at the deadline. Again, we have to wait a little bit. User right there. It's still, I mean, this is going to come down to the final week before we know what the Angels are going to do. But I think if they're within 4 games or less, they're going to buy. If they're over 5 games in the standings back, they're not going to buy. Mateo says we had a good fight tonight. They were down early, but came back a couple times. Also, does it work for minor league games too? Yes, Don, if it's on their website, it works for anything. Rally Chris says, thanks, Texas Rangers, for the free fries and McDonald's and Del Taco. Jeez. Bill says bullpen choices were crazy. It was stupid. I mean, way overthinking everything. I was screaming at the TV tonight, Saucy says. I'm surprised they pulled this one off. They just won't let me off the hook. They do this every time and make me believe. Yes. And then also Tyler says, why does it take years to see a legit hit and run executed perfectly, scoring a run? Can't remember the last time they did it. I think a Italian manager was in the dugout when we did that. London says Shawneewell should have bunted with Neto and Renifo. Yeah, we read that one right there. Light that baby up. Jesus says, let's go Angels. Still laughing at the little kid in the stands showing up Taylor Ward on his defense. Dude, and that's the other thing. My God. The little kid makes a play, and on TV, it looks like he's in the 3rd row. But when they show the behind the camera where I sit at the games, from the top of 260, looking down, Taylor Ward literally could have caught that ball. Yet he was like, no, there's a kid there. It's like, bro, he's so scared of the walls. He's such a liability, dude. Such a liability. Drew says, I didn't get to listen last night. How come Soriano can't win at home? Drew, if we knew, we would probably try to share that with the Angels. He looks masterful on the road. I don't know what's his problem at home. Zendo says, was it at the game last night, and I've never seen the Angels struggle like that. Was a wild game. Happy to see them bounce back. Yeah, you know what? Great win tonight. Absolutely big win tonight. Because again, not just in the standings because you pick up ground, but damn, dude, like you can't take another one on the chin like that. And so I'm glad to see the fight in them tonight. Saucy says, I'm just glad they were able to get through tonight. I'm sure that they are soon so exhausted, just tuckered out. Yeah, we might not have anybody pitch tomorrow. Courtney says, not understanding why we're treating these pitchers like they need to be wrapped up in bubble wrap and carried off the field after 10 pitches. Does no one have endurance anymore? This organization is so backwards with its pitching, man, because, again, they blasted through the bullpen tonight and didn't have to. You used, let's see, outside of Hendricks tonight, you used 7 relievers. Did you really need to use 7 relievers? Nobody pitched over an inning. Nobody. 3 guys pitched less than an inning. So I don't understand that. I really don't understand that. And then, but you're more than welcome to pitch Newman 3 innings. That makes no sense. Those Dumble ears were huge in the 9th. Josh says, I looked through my baseball cards and I have a 1 of an 18 Nolan Ryan. Oh, hell yeah. Keep that one up, man. That's a winner right there. We were able to hit rocker with a rocker. Geez, Mateo. Josh says, I can afford OGs now. What you have to do, Josh, is go left 3 times and then you make a right and you'll be right at an OGs. Who do you think our next manager will be next season? I would have to think it's either going to be Ray Montgomery or you're going to get a first-timer, a hot like bench coach or from another team, an up-and-coming coach. Isaiah says, I hate this team so much. They get our hopes up. Shake my head. Mike Trout says, did you see my 2 home runs tonight? Yes, I did. Gavin's favorite player is Marcus Simeon. Seaman.
You guys are crazy. Hello, Halo Nation. Hello, Halo hopefuls, and welcome back. What's going on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson. Don't get it twisted. You've probably heard of Viagra or Cialis. It's hard. It's hard. Oh, man, it feels great. Oh, yummy. Oh, how about a yummy? Oh, come on. Magic. Oh, my goodness. Guys, tasting nut.
I guess so. Drew said if Wardcon that cat makes that catch, it wouldn't help Jansen, even though he didn't need it, or would have helped him. Yeah, I mean, again, giving up the double wasn't too bad, but still, that should have been caught. Alfonso says Wally was my first player that I loved. Also, the guy's name I can't pronounce is an Orange County kid. There you go. I'm not even going to attempt it. Landon says Darno is a starter for the foreseeable future since Ohapi is too worried about analytics and doesn't want to flatten out his swing. Yeah, he can't flatten out his swing right now. It's going to take time away from him. That's for sure. Hey, Trout, you're going to hit your 400 home run when I'm there. We'll see, man. If you call that one, that's pretty good. Mo says Todd this was one heck of a comeback. What are your thoughts on Wendy's Baconator? That's about how they talk in the booth. The Baconator is a little overrated. I'm not a fan of having bacon on my burgers. I'd rather have avocado. That's just me though. If Perry gets fired, who would be the next GM? I would want someone that's savvy and that can control and has done a good job elsewhere building up the minor leagues. That has to be first and foremost on your resume. If you've got, actual traction in building up minor leagues wherever you've been, then you're going to be at the top of my list. Trout's homers actually count on amounted to something for once. Brandon says you guys are in the same position as us with finding a head coach and general manager. What team is yours, Brandon? Because this is the first time I've seen you on here. Let's see. Also, let's go down here. It's Hishgosh. Yeah. Alfonso says New York not turning the call over is just sad. Every single angle available. If I can see it, how come they can't see it? Oh, the Braves. There you go. My bad, Brandon. Braves. The Braves might be in the same situation as the Angels, but we'll see. Let's see. Also, Giants fan says, bro, you going to support us in 2 days? Yes, I will. Because, again, if you guys are – even with the Braves, man, like Brandon's team or whatever, I root for whoever's playing the Dodgers, man. I really do. So, go Brewers. Getting that sweep today. Very happy about that. Ward can't even glove. No mama's pinchy way. Billy says crazy what happens when Wardo picks that bat up off his shoulder. Isaac says honk it up, baby. Also, Isaac says Cowboy Vince is a legend. He's always been a legend, my man. Steph says, can we please manage the bullpen better? Absolutely. That is a must. That's got to be because, again, in a 3-game series, how many times have you seen it this year when the Angels win like the first 2 of a 3-game series and they may have had to use their bullpen pitchers more than once, or they've used them in a couple, more times than what you'd want to use. They say, oh, they got to rest them all, and they rest them all in the 3rd game and just give the 3rd game away, including their starters. It's a West Coast game, Baldwin says. New York, the city that never sleeps unless they're supposed to be reviewing calls. Steph says we got lucky. Landon says the analytics talk needs to stop. The analytics are getting players' heads and our performances getting in their heads, and it's suffering. That's why we aren't over 500. Also, Bachman has been really bad lately, or bad luck, I should say, Josh says. White Sox snapped the Blue Jays' 10-game win streak. Agvila says, if we're at 500 at the All-Star break, is that a W? We should stay aggressive on the bases as we are today. Yes, to both of those. If this team is at 500 or better, that's a huge W. I don't care where we sit at in the standings. That is enormous because nobody, including us on this network, picked us to be 500 at the break. So to be in it, to win it at that time, I love it. It's great. And as far as being aggressive, we've been preaching that all season, including last season. You gotta, if you're gonna be scoring runs, you gotta get guys on base. You gotta pressure. Every time you have a guy on base, he's running, or you can do a hit and run. You could bunt. You could do a lot of things, but that involves small ball, getting away from the launch angle, getting away from the analytics, playing baseball as it's supposed to be played at its purest form. And I guarantee you, the more guys you have on base, basically it just gets in the players' heads. You're playing a chess game. You're making them think. You're making the defense move and shift, and it's just better. It's better to do that. Also, realistically, without taxing the minors, can we make a trade? You can, but again, you'd have to take on some expiring contracts as well. Also, Mateo says the automatic baseball strike zone is coming for the All-Star game. Also, Joshua says there's Rally Chris. What happened last night? Oh, so he's calling out Rally Chris. Alfonso says, hey, the exit velocity on the Honda Civic was awesome, and the launch angle on the Hyundai was great. Also, Bachman has a nice pickoff move. He does, an electric throw. If you watch the broadcast, I spotted Vince the Cowboy like 4 times. Yeah, he was out there the whole night. We brought that up. Let's see. We should have extended Dell, but that's after a sample size of this year and then a little bit of next year. And then I would say go for it. I miss Mike Socha baseball with letting pitchers go out there for a while playing small ball. Also, Grillmaster's not happy with the umpires. Also, Tony says since Washington has left, the Angels are more aggressive on the bases and running out hits every time, no giving up, except if your name is Soler. They are more patient at the plate. Mike Trout has been taking batting practice with a team. Wow, what a concept, right, Tony? Actually get involved. What's going on with the Dodgers? Man, on a shit game. They're on a shit game, legit. They have a ton of injuries pitching wise, whether it's bullpen and starting pitching, and they're getting lit up. And then their hitting's not coming through as good as that lineup is. Albert Pujols says no Pinchy's mama's way. We won against the Rangers. Also, he says it twice. Alfonso says Nacho night to the Los Doyers, 6 losses in a row, baby. Keep it sucking, just like Gavin does on Marsha. LV says one more W and the check clears. Also, Seattle has tough stretch coming up. One more game versus the Yankees tomorrow, and they might get swept, and then they get the Tigers Friday. Landon says, Todd, if we get above 500, you should dress as Dog the Bounty Hunter. Nah, it doesn't work when you don't have hair. The Archangel says, by the 8th inning, the Rangers weren't just slipping. They were bent over the dugout, wondering who brought the baby oil and forgot the safe word. That would be the Archangel. Otani wants to go back to the Angels. I don't think so. Only bring them up for an inning, then send them back down, Aguila says, with our prospects. Yeah, it's terrible what we do to our prospects. Soler at the plate. Out of here! Mateo wants to say, well, it was kind of a fat pitch.
This fat son of a bitch is going to drown us all out.
Calm down, okay? All right?
He's fat!
Also, Rally Chris says, hey, Texas Rangers. Oh, no, what happened? Yeah, exactly. What did happen? Let's ask our buddy.
Oh, no. What happened? Oh, no, how terrible. That's just awful. How terrible. Oh, no.
Yeah, it looks like Yamamoto is hurt for the Dodgers right there. Should the Angels go after DJ LeMahieu and drop Newman? Yes, but they won't. Rangers got a yummy tasting nut tonight. So,
on everybody, my name is Gavin Carlson, former credential journalist in the LA area. How about a yummy tasting nut?
There you go. Let's see. Also, I'm barely getting to some of these right here. Series win. Halo's Titty says, where were you at last night? Rally Chris. Also, that cat. Did you catch the Halos in the outfield getting hammered? Yes, we did. Let's see. What is Papa Fox saying? I can't do any impressions right now. My throat's killing me. And Mateo will be out here in August. I'm going to be sending your shit out too this week, Mateo. So be on the lookout for that. Series win right there. If we get it tomorrow, we got to go to, we got to get that win on, what is it called? Tomorrow to get the series win, I should say. Mike Trout, 415 home runs by the end of the year if he stays healthy. I wish it was 500. He was heading for 500, but we were talking about that earlier. Montgomery bullpen management questionable, to say the least. Also, yeah, drawing the third baseman back to the base was great. Also, Rangers' favorite song is Stacy's Mom. It's about John Stamos. Let's see. Also, 11 Deos he counted right there. Soler's the man, my favorite Angel. Also, Lakers fan in Japan says, Artie, sell the team to Boo Boo Bear's mommy. She loves the team and ain't afraid to spend. Also, Benjamin says, I'm with you, Todd. The Angels need to rebrand badly. This era of the Angels uniform was great to start, but has been pure misery the last 10 years. Yes, and I'm hoping that takes precedent at some point. We'll see though. The voiceover sucks right there. Mateo says the Angels to Rangers fans are like, oh no, what happened? 714 tickets. Boo Bear's mommy says Texas fans are all, oh no, what happened? How terrible. That's just terrible. That's just awful. And I think it's this guy.
Oh no. What happened? Oh no, how terrible. That's just awful. How terrible. Oh no.
B-Train says, Lord, please give us a healthy Mike Trout the rest of the season. So far, he's helping out. Let me get them honks. Well, the honks, you're going to get them. Here we go. We're going to go with 11 of them. This should be fast. I'm not sure. We'll see how fast we can get these honks in. Okay, there's your honks. So you got your honks in, LV. We didn't even do the Deos. I'm glad Herman says of Trout isn't in the All-Star game. I think it's going to be good for his knee. Yeah, he should rest. Anytime you could rest that dude, let's do it. Because again, he shouldn't be there in all actuality. Alfonso says Locked On post-game show brought to you part by Nuts and More Nuts. Boo Bear's mommy says, I think the Angels need fielders who don't commit errors. Halo Titty says Angels are making the playoffs. I can feel it. Oh, great, dude. You are super honking your honk right there, man.
You serious?
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs?
Nolan Shonowell is a future GOAT. I love it. Gerard says, how many shit, here we go again moments in this one? Boy, you felt it tonight because you did think the Angels were going to piss this game away. I ain't going to lie. I thought it was a bunch of times tonight, dude, because I was watching this one. I'm like, okay, they just gave up a 2-run home run. That should do it. And then they came right back. I was not expecting that. And I like that. It's something new. Something new is better because last year it would have spelled it would have been over. But no, dude, they came through. And
oh shit. Here we go again.
We didn't hear that. You get out of it what you put into it. Man, he's asking for all these right here. Let's see, where is it? Here it is.
Let me tell you something about my guy John Stamos. So I was able to go in the back bedroom and unscrew the old balls and running up my butt right now. You get out of it what you put into it. John Stamos choked on me. He was so great.
Heedy says I'm Val Hartley's boyfriend. Oh my God. We should be in first place if Joe Madden was still here. Alfonso says, Gavin, what do you get for $10? Answer Nut and More Nuts. Tony C says Logan will be in tomorrow. That is what the Angels do. It sucks that Hunter Strickland is pretty much now done for the season. 2 years to the day Shonowell was drafted. Smash that like button. And I really like the fact that, Strickland came back to us when we did him dirty and didn't re-sign him after last year. And he was an instant calming to the bullpen. And he had good stuff and would pitch out of jams. He was the type of dude that Ron Washington used him a couple times, brought him in with the bases loaded and nobody out and said, here, go for it. Get us out of it. And he did. So, man, it sucks, but losing him, now we get up Fulmer. Fulmer's pretty good, but I was anticipating having Strickland and Fulmer in that role of long man or keep it close or keep the lead intact type deal. So it sucks not having Strickland. I'm 100% right there. I miss Hans Krauts, Agavilla says, and for our starters to flourish right now for the team. And have a really tough schedule after the All-Star break, and that's going to make or break the Angels is after the break. We're going to sweep Arizona, Val told me. Lakers, I didn't know she had a boyfriend. Man, Lakers fan in Japan says D-backs have Josh Naylor now. Wish that pain in the ass was an Angel. Yeah, he's going to kill us. It was Johnny Cueto I was talking about earlier. Like that baby up, Todd Fox and the Angels. Let's keep it rolling. I like that. Emilio says Kenley is allowed to do it because he stops and comes set for the split second, then delivers the pitch. 100% true. Carter Capps back in the day had the egregious weird step and delivery. Also, bunting in yesterday's game. The game has evolved. Boomers. Also, the Angels suck says, I was yelling for Soler to bunt. I'm glad he didn't come through or come down to us talking about Hendricks' air, or didn't come down to Hendricks' air. Yeah, dude. That was a terrible throw. He so rushed it and he thought too much of it at the same time. Drew says, I know I'm going to get booed. Is Rendon still or done as an Angel? No, he's got one more year of $38 million. Demetrio says, so the Halo brothers live in West Hollywood, pretty much. Also, we should have walked Seager because he's the greatest hitter of all time, according to Joe Madden. Rally Chris is the GOAT. I wish I could meet him. How can I meet him, Todd? I'm a super fan. Go to his birthday game. Heedy fan says, also, where's that Rod guy? He has horrible takes. He lives in the past too much. Damn. Lakers fan in Japan says, Halo brothers are Niners fans. I hear, which makes them obvious Doyer fans. Still, listen, I know we didn't have football in LA for 20 years, right? I still don't understand the influx of Dodger fans literally saying fuck San Francisco during baseball season, yet when it comes down to it, when football season starts, they're like fuck LA because they're Niner fans and they root against the Rams. I've never understood that. I can never understand it. I'll never get into that. Joshua says, please, please let me on the hop in and live. You have to, if you're going to hop in, you got to get over to, YouTube. And then if you're on there and asking, I could send a link and then you just pop in there. I can't, they won't let me send links here on the TikTok for whatever reason, since I'm using a streaming service. When Rendon comes back, he better play a full season. Don't bet on that Corona guy. Don't bet on that. Dumbo would never harm a child. Also, so was the Buttercup on Texas. Also, Eric Ward says, nice win, but Hendricks needs to go. Dude is nothing more than a batting practice pitcher. JC loves it right there. Also, Hendricks is a great pitcher, Eric. Oh my God. Tomorrow's pitching matchup is Corbin versus Jack Kwanowitz. Man, that could be a huge, like a big time game as far as runs being scored. I swear to God, because both those guys, if they're not keeping the pitches down, forget it. Also, we're not going to have to talk about people booing Detmers after that home run. Alfonso says Taylor Ward was playing Woody Harrelson on the outfield, showing that white man can't jump or refuse to jump. Eric Ward says, by the way, did anyone catch Gavin last night? His dad came into his room and Nutboy was so pissed. Hendricks holding the runner on base. Also, or maybe our catchers can't throw out anyone. Baldwin. Steph, it says, can we please stop mismanaging the bullpen? And that's going to come back to bite us at some point. Did anyone see Gavin? Oh, I already read that one. Also, we don't mismanage the bullpen. He's shooting down everything. EQ says, yo, Todd, I think Darno needs to extend as a starter from now on. Well, I don't know, man. They're not going to want to sit Ohapi for much longer, but Hoppy's got to get it going, dude. He's so bad right now. Gavin's favorite Angels player of all time is Dong for obvious reasons. Brett says Trout just passed Jim Edmonds an all-time home run. Don't remember Edmonds mashing like that on the Halos. He did have a couple good games, man. Also, Corona says, have the Angels lost when the guys dress up as Angels at the game? Yeah, he lost last night. I think they were there last night, too. They just didn't have anything to cheer about. I wonder if Gavin knows how popular he is, Courtney says. The link is there, by the way, if you want to jump in. We need Matt Wise back as pitching coach. I don't think so, Tyler. And we're not going to pick up the national guys. Also, Strange says, here you go, Rangers. And he's calling for D's nuts, if I can find it right here. Because, again, since they switched up this board, I don't know if it's actually helpful here. Hold on.
These nuts. Got him. Got him.
There you go. Let's see. Also, hit the heaty button right there. Jeez. MLA says, no pinches mamas way. They are giving me emotional damage. I didn't have to watch Love Island today. Un huevo. Dude, I swear to God, that is a terrible show. Let's see. Also, I believe Ohapi is going to be back. Travis is going off. Would you trade Ohapi? No, I wouldn't. Joshua, I see you popping up right there. If you got your screen ready to go, I could pop you in real quick. Let's see. Hold on. I just got to adjust this screen because I did the adjustments last time, and I think I have to just add one more camera slot here just to get you on to be seen on both screens, because it's kind of a weird setup when it comes over here. There we go. So I got it set up for when you jump on with your video. Let's see. Also, Tyler says, if Trout plays the whole season, we might as well win the pennant. I don't overshooting there a bit. All right, Joshua, what's up, my man?
Yo, what's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, can hear you. Can see you too, man. Got you on video.
All right, so first of all, congrats. I thought it was a great win by the Angels. I didn't have much faith that they were going to come back just because every single time I've gone to an Angels game, they've always lost. It's ironic, too, because I live in LA, so, I want to touch base on what you said earlier. I grew up a huge LA fan, Lakers, Dodgers, Kings, and you bring up a really good point. I think LA is the greatest city of all time when it comes to sports. You can make arguments for Boston and New York, but I think LA takes the crown because of the years and decades that New York and Boston had ahead of itself. So when you take that into consideration, I still think LA is the greatest city, And I'm going to bring up a couple good points because, I'll never understand Laker fans, Dodger fans that are 49er fans.
Mm-hmm.
How are we going to say beat LA on Friday and then Saturday, go root for the Dodgers? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And my issue with that is that we're a very spoiled county. We're a spoiled county, and I know Orange County, LA County, whatever, same thing for sake of argument, but think about it. Which other sport franchises have what LA has? Think about it. Let's touch base on baseball. First of all, you have Dodgers, you have Angels. Okay, you want to look at hockey? You got Ducks, you got Kings. You want to look at football? We got Rams, you got Chargers. You get what I'm saying, though, right? Even in soccer, Galaxy, LAFC. And it amazes me that we're so spoiled with options, even, that you would root for a different city that doesn't claim you. I'll just never understand that, man. I think that we're a blessed city, we're a blessed county, and, to be hearing stuff like that, I'll never understand how you can be a 49ers fan. They'll never claim these people. So people want to say, oh, well, we didn't have a team, we didn't have that, blah, blah. I'm like, bro, I'm pretty sure a lot of people didn't have teams prior to, SoFi Stadium here in LA. People are pretty diverse, but if a city gets selected, why wouldn't you ride with that city? You get what I'm saying?
No, I get it.
We've been given options. That's the thing. You want to do NFC? Okay, do the Rams. There's already history here with LA. Or you could go with the Chargers. You want to do AFC. My thing is there's so many options. It's honestly just insane why you would root for another city. I'll ride and die with LA. I'll tell you right now, when the Raiders were in talks to coming to LA, I'm glad that didn't happen because I probably would have been a Raiders fan. I'm glad the Rams came. And that's just proof that there is a God, because in my 25, 26 years of existence, I've been able to witness a championship in every major sport. I've seen the Lakers win 3. No, well, 3 that I remember. When I was younger, they 3-peated, but I don't remember that. I've been able to see LAFC win the MLS Cup. I've been able to see the Kings when I was in high school twice win the Stanley Cup. I've been able to see the Rams win it. Like, it's insane, There's no other city like ours. I think we're on top. I think you bring up a good point. And, I just like to say that for the Angels, You guys have obviously had a way better season than anyone could have projected. You know, the Angels were expected to probably have a worse season than last year. But when they came to LA, I mean, right now we're on a 6 game bender where we've lost 6 in a row. So who am I to say anything? You know, the way this team's dealing with injuries right now, I don't that repeat seems unlikely. You know, just got to be real here.
No, 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 no. I looked at it this way. And I hate saying it because, like, I know that there's, anybody knows me, man. I'm, no offense, but I am a huge Dodger hater. But
No, yeah, I get it.
I will give respect where respect's due. Like, I know a lot of my friends were like, "Hey, man, 2020, we won the title." I'm like, "Did you? Did you really?" Because that season should have never happened. No matter, even if we won the World Series, I'd be like, "Bro, it doesn't matter." But last year, you guys won a legitimate World Series. You put together a hell of a team. You got a great franchise. You got great owners. They're the envy of baseball. Like, they literally are. So whenever they, they're going to be on that pedestal like the Lakers were with Kobe and Shaq. Everyone wants to hunt them. They want to take them down. And so I think that's what, most of the league wants to do. And they'll revel in a 6-game losing streak. And I have a lot of Dodger friends and coworkers that are big time fans, and they're walking in with their heads down like, man, our pitching staff's messed up. This guy's down, that guy's down. We've lost 6 in a row. I'm like, bro, you're still in first place. You're still the top until somebody knocks you off.
Right, but the thing is, nothing's happened since '99 in terms of repeats. So this year, when you got a $1 billion payroll, when you got 3 MVPs at the top of your lineup, that's just the expectation, So yeah, I'm not gonna deny the fact that we're spoiled. We're very spoiled. Look at other teams like the Pirates, the Rockies, the White Sox. They could wish of having these kinds of issues, And
well, here's what I gotta tell you, Joshua. Enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah, I know.
Because 2027 could be the turning point for all of baseball.
Yes.
All the deferred contracts, all the the things that are wrong in baseball, owners not having a floor for the cap, not having a true, really penalized salary cap. Because you guys look at the salary cap and a couple other teams like, who cares? Who gives a shit? And you guys just spend whatever money. And then other owners are like, oh, we can't spend more than 40 or 50 million dollars. Like, Dick, you're making 200 million. So, like, if you can't get the league, they're not going to get to football. Unfortunately, we're still. I wish they would get rid of guaranteed contracts too, because we would have got rid of Rendon like 4 years ago.
Absolute cancer, man. Absolute.
Yeah.
I feel bad for that fan base because would you say which one's been worse? If I could throw 3 contracts at you, the Rendon, the Chris Bryant, or the Javi Baez prior this year?
Oh, you could put Rendon 3 times, and I'll pick Rendon 3 times because there is no other contract. I mean, some could say in basketball, who's the guy who keeps getting hurt and never shoots a 3? God, what's it? He's been on a half dozen teams. What the fuck's his name?
He shoots 3s, you said?
Yeah, well, he doesn't hit 3s. He's supposed to hit 3s. He played with
Jordan Poole?
No, he played with the Clippers this year. He was a former first-round pick, everything. He was just a bust in Philly. He was a bust. He's always hurt.
Is it Markelle Fultz? Did he play?
No. Another guy. He's left-handed too.
Yeah, I'm not gonna know, my man. I didn't keep up with the Clippers this year.
Ben Simmons. There it is. I knew it.
Ben Simmons.
Okay.
Yes, you're right. He was on the Clippers. Yeah, you're right.
So this guy's gotten a buttload of money too, and he's done absolutely nothing. So yes, Ben Simmons is a guy that's been a waste. But I think even as bad as he's been, bro, I don't think in any other. I mean, for a guy who just doesn't care, he is a cancer. I mean, that's the best way to describe him.
Well, yeah, there's no doubt about it. I mean, let's look at a recap of what he's done. When he was asked for updates of an injury, dude wanted to act like he didn't speak the language. He says that the MLB season needs to be shortened. It sort of seems like, I got your money, I don't care anymore. Screw the fans. I don't think he'll ever step foot at Angel Stadium again. The feeling is mutual between Angel fans and Rendon. I mean, 2027, yeah, you could look forward to the salary cap finally getting a roof, or you guys can look towards Rendon getting off your payroll, It's one or the other. But if I'm able to ask you, like, what would you rather see? Would you rather see a floor or a salary cap? I'd rather see a floor, personally. I mean, can you tell I'm a Dodger fan? But I think it's great for, like, other teams because you look at teams like the Athletics. You look at teams like the White Sox.
Marlins.
Marlins, same thing. Marlins have a great stadium. I've actually been there. It's not the stadium that's at fault. It's just bad ownership, and we've seen this time and time and time again. And even Angel Stadium, I've been there to some games and seasons where they're great. The fans show up. The Angels have an actual fan base, you know? It's
Yeah.
just bad ownership. So I know it sounds super biased, in my opinion, may seem a little bit irrelevant being a Dodger fan, but I think that the floor is more important than the cap. You know, you see it in soccer all the time too, as well, especially like out in Europe. So I'd rather see the floor. I think it improves it. I think Moreno should sell the team. I think that's what every Angel fan wants. You know, again, I'm a Dodger fan, but at heart, I'm a baseball fan first, and I just think that's what baseball needs.
No, I think you're 100% right. The only adjustment I would put on it is a harsher penalty for breaking the cap. So
No,
if
yeah.
you
I mean,
if
there's
you're
crazy taxes already.
it's got to be crazier. I think it should be crazier. If you want to go over, maybe it costs you that money plus a draft pick. You know what I'm saying? Like for the next year, you lose your first round pick.
Right.
Just throw something in there to incentivize the actual paying over the price. But I do agree with you. I don't think we'll get a ceiling. Floor makes more sense. So if you force these teams to spend money, it's only going to make money for the other lower tier players, your secondhand players. So I think it works all around. It'll help more players to eat and feed that kind of way, and bring some contenders. And because right now baseball is not completely top heavy, but you have a lot of mediocre, and you can make that mediocre a lot better. And it might help out these teams like Kansas City, who never gets like freaking international players, be able to bid with the Dodgers to get a freaking international player. So that'd be pretty cool. I like it, man. But good takes, Alfonso, man, or Alfonso, Joshua. I was looking at the comments. My bad, dude.
No, yeah, I see your channel on TikTok because I also plan on starting a channel really soon. Like I've already came up with like all the accounts and everything. I'm just waiting on the logo to get done by one of my guys. But yeah, I see you all the time, and like yeah, even though I'm a Dodger fan, like when the Dodgers are out of town, I typically do go to Angel Stadium because I'm TickPick. And that's might sound bad, but tickets are like $3 a piece. I'm like, you pay more for the parking probably.
Oh, absolutely, dude. Go
It
to
is what it is.
That's why we advertise 714 tickets, man. If you use our code HITI, it's another 10% off. And it also works like if you go to Dodger games, you still get the discount. You still there's no service fees or taxes. So if the Dodgers are saying $58 a ticket, that's all you're paying. So it's not like all these other ones. So I would suggest use 714. It works for everything, dude. Like concerts, doesn't matter.
No, yeah, I typically just stick to the sports. Like I said, this year was pretty devastating for all LA sports. You know, I could talk to you about Rams, talk to you about Kings, talk to you about anything, man. Like I said, like I ride and died with the city. For me, ride and die with your city. And just to like put it right there, just to close off, I think it's so important to ride with your city, man. It's such a great thing. You know, I wish the Angels would go and do the Anaheim Angels. Everyone's been bidding on it. I heard even the mayor of Anaheim's done it. Look at the Ducks, man. The Ducks put so much respect on Anaheim's name. And when the Clippers were looking into a dome, I thought it would be great for the Clippers to either head out to Orange County because they would have for sure had a fan base there. We've already seen the Ducks and the Angels, or go back down to San Diego. I mean, I don't really know too many Clipper fans here in LA. I definitely think they're paid actors out here, man. I don't know a Clipper fan, bro. I don't know how that stadium gets packed. I don't know him, bro.
Well, yeah,
I really don't.
there's not too many of them. I will say this though.
But that stadium is packed, man. I don't know how. Where are they getting these people?
They do have rabid fans, though. I will say that the ones that are actually Clipper fans are rabid. But yes, I remember when the Ducks first had the Honda Center, or the Pond as they called it back then. The Clippers would play preseason games out there. Or they would play like when they still had the sports arena. They play like 4 or 6 games at Anaheim, and the people loved it. I thought that was the place to go because even though Ballmer wants to establish them as the team in LA, it's never going to happen.
There's so much history, man. Way too much.
You could play another 100 years and win 20 titles as a Clippers franchise, and you still wouldn't get the love that the Lakers have. So,
well, yeah, because Inglewood belongs to the Lakers from Showtime, probably from my dad's era, you know, even into the 90s. And then Staples Center, that's just the house that Kobe built, you know?
Yeah,
I thought it would have been great, honestly, if Orange County got a basketball team. It would have made the Freeway Series more interesting, or even with San Diego. I mean, look at what's going on with the Padres and the Dodgers the last 5 seasons. It makes it more competitive. And I mean, like I said, the Clippers, I think the Angels have a bigger chance of being LA's team than the Clippers ever would of being LA's team. I'll tell you that much. I just don't think there's a chance in hell it's ever going to happen. Like I said, I give props to the Ducks because they embrace Anaheim and Orange County. They put the respect on it. I'm pretty sure all Angel fans want Anaheim on that chest.
Well,
It
it's
is.
funny because again, a lot of fans from out of state or whatever would be like, "Man, you guys got to go back to Anaheim." It's like we never wanted it to change. So that's a pure Artie Moreno move. He
Do you
didn't
know what was the reasoning behind that move, though? Because I actually
marketing,
don't.
marketing.
Marketing? I
Probably
figured.
see, probably when you were younger. What year were you born?
I was born in 99.
Okay, so like when he took over the team directly in '04, they were still Anaheim Angels, but then he changed the name. I forget what year it was. It might have been '05 or '07, somewhere around there. Anyway, when he did, that's when the Angels were in their height of winning and the Dodgers were kind of in transition. And you would
Yeah.
go outside Dodger Stadium, and he was a little dick at the time, but he made us happy because he would put billboards up from Chavez Ravine, like around the stadium, off the 10 freeway, off the 110. He was being a dick, and he was trying to like take over the area. And for a while, when the Angels would go into Dodger Stadium, you would see about 40% of the fans, because I was there too. We were all dressed in red, and it was great. Now it's like completely opposite, obviously, because of winning and all this other stuff. Because winning, he's always been about marketing, not winning, and that's where he's failed as an owner. If he's understood that,
Right.
hey man, you could run a shit stadium like the Coliseum in Oakland, but if you put a winner on the field, look what happened when Oakland would get in August and September. That place was packed.
Look at
So
Oakland on the last day that they were there, you know?
yeah,
Another fan base blown.
but even then, I mean, when they're good, they packed out that stadium. So that's what it comes down to. You make your money by winning, dude. So that's why the Dodgers are set for such a long time, because they've established the winning. They're back to that golden era of baseball. And whereas the Angels have to kickstart it all over again, and that's with a shit owner at the helm. So
Right. And that's another thing that I'll give more credit for the owner of the Dodgers and like the
the
majority
group,
group.
the group.
Yeah, like they've done such a great job of knowing how to put a winning product, and that's just been investing your money, you know. And I feel like that's something Art Moreno never does, you know. And not only did they invest money, look at the technology that the Dodgers invested into. They were the very first minor league team that was investing into like accommodations for recovery, technological advances. I remember seeing a couple of videos where the Pirates don't even have this kind of technology in this current day and age. And you know, you wonder why teams or players are wanting to come to the Dodgers to play for deferred contracts, lesser money. Like before, you wanted to make that name for yourself, but now you have guys that are willing to sacrifice some money to come and play because they understand what winning is. But not only do they understand what winning is, they also understand how to play with sacrifice, you know, how to play for the guy next to each other. You know, I don't see any egos on the Dodgers, whereas I look at teams like the Padres, easily you could like find two egos in Machado. You know, he's toned it down over the last few years. I'll give him credit. But in Tatis,
Tatis.
you know, you see this immaturity all the time. You don't see that on the LA team. You know, I get it. I understand why they became the villains of baseball. Keep in mind, I waited till 2020 to see them finally win a World Series. And even then, I don't endure oh, it was only half season and this and that. I mean, to me, I get it. I'm going to be biased. So I'm always going to say, like, well, we all had the same opportunity. Yes, I get it that home crowds make a difference. But it definitely felt more attacked because both the Lakers and the Dodgers won it. So I was like, is this really an identity? Or is this because it wasn't an LA thing? And people say, oh, the bubble was easy, or, you know, the stadiums are easy. You know, I respect everyone's opinion. If you feel that way, that's fine. I'm going based what's on the history books, and it's that the Dodgers won it in 2020, you know? Because look at the teams that went into the playoffs the following season. They were all almost the same. I think it was like 4 teams that switched. So teams that were going to be there in 2020 showed up in 2021. What are you going to argue that, oh, well, we should have waited to see who got injured, or we should have waited to see who broke down under pressure? Those are the only two arguments I really see in that. Of course, that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, we all have our different opinions on that, because I felt the football season shouldn't have been played either. I thought the NBA one was bad too. I mean, you're playing in front of TV sets, for God's sakes. You have no crowds in the football stands. Baseball didn't have any fans till the World Series, and that even then it was spread out. And again, the Dodgers never had to travel, and they had several players sit out. So I didn't like the whole COVID season for anything really. I think it was bad. Even hockey effed it up by not letting United States players going to Canada, the vax thing. So it was just a clusterfuck of problems.
Yeah.
But I'll just talk currently. I'll let you go with this, man. The Dodgers, I wouldn't worry about them too much, man. They got their shit together. Don't, like I'm saying, like they might get pushed a little bit here by the Padres or the Giants, but I'm hoping, but because I really would like a competitive National League. And I think right now they're top heavy with the Dodgers up there. They've got all the talent, but again,
I'd be more worried about San Francisco. I think this is going to be an important series for us. I definitely think the NL West is probably the most competitive division in all of baseball. I mean, it's crazy to think that the AL West was the most competitive just 2 seasons ago, if you think about it. I think it came down to the last day of the season where what was it? The Astros won it like on the last day, and Seattle got kicked out. Classic Mariners moment right there.
yeah,
I mean,
they always fail.
hey, I mean, who would you rather be right now, a Mariners fan or an Angels fan? At least with the Angels team, you know what you're looking forward to. But the Mariners, man, that's a heartbreak for a different time. We'll talk about them.
Yeah, they had 21 years of non-playoffs. We're approaching 10, so I don't feel as bad as I would if I was a Mariner fan. But hey, thanks for coming on, Joshua. My voice is
for sure, man.
Appreciate it, though, bro.
You got it. Good luck with the channel, man. We like the content.
You too, my man. And send me a message, whatever page you're on, bro. I'll send you some followers, bro. I know a lot of Dodger friends.
All right, thanks, boss. We'll see you soon.
You got it, bro. Later. That's Joshua checking in right there. We get to some of these comments. See, I'm still coughing. Way behind on all these comments. My bad. You guys were all talking about Clippers and stuff going back and forth. Some of you guys liked him. Some of you didn't. You didn't. I thought he was very knowledgeable. But the LA thing, I mean, you got to agree to disagree on some of it. I do know that I don't represent local teams when it comes to football because I'm biased. I was in Seattle for a little bit. So like Angels were always first because I grew up here, but I did go up there and stay. And my first encounters with out of sports other than baseball was Sonics and Seahawks. So that's where I went right there. Never knew you would attract Dodger fans. EQ, there's a lot of them, man. A lot of them out there. Also, see, Courtney says in 5 to 10 years, the Dodger legacy will start to deteriorate because you will see the downside of all these deferred contracts. And that's a crazy thing, but they might get saved. Who knows by the league? Yeah, they're going to be all right. I don't think we have to worry. Everyone nailed the Ben Simmons one right there. Daniel says bootlicking house man right there. As a Niner fan, we get an extra home game at SoFi. You sure do, dude. Man, again, that was a weird thing about all the teams. Like as far as football is concerned, a lot of fans when the Rams and Raiders left were Rams and Raiders fans. Some, which I don't get, for about 20 years, very few rooted for the Rams in St. Louis. They felt betrayed, sort of how I feel about Oklahoma. I don't claim Oklahoma's title, dude, even though if I was a basketball fan still, I wouldn't root for Oklahoma. Screw them. They left Seattle. But when the Rams came back, some of these fans and friends of mine had been cheering for the Eagles for years, for the Patriots for years. They had adopted other teams. Like I even know that they went to the Niners. And then as soon as the Rams came back, all of a sudden it's like all love and good, and it's all good. And they became Rams fans. It's like, I don't know about that, man. I don't know how to feel about that. Like, I don't know if the Angels were to disappear for 2 decades and move to Tennessee, but then come back to Anaheim, I'd be hard pressed to bring them back. I really would. I wouldn't be a fan. I don't know why. It's supposed to be our safe space. Let's see. Oh my gosh. As a Clipper fan, yeah, Dimitro's a Clipper fan right there. Man, there's a lot of guys not liking his content, but I thought he was pretty well represented. And I think he'll be a good broadcaster or a good TikTok, influencer, because he has a good voice and he's very knowledgeable. I don't know, says Angels need to play like this every year or play like this every game. Corona guy says I'm a New York Giants fan only because I dislike the Patriots. That's a good one right there. I mean, not too many real Patriot fans are out there, especially how they've had to hit the reset button. You know who's going to stick with that team. The ones I hated, and I still hate to this day, is not the Patriot fans, but the Tom Brady fans. So when Tom Brady was with the Patriots, they were all in on the Patriots. And then when he went to the Buccaneers, the Patriots fans threw away those jerseys and they were automatically diehard Buccaneer fans. I'm like, have you ever watched a Buccaneer game prior to this dude coming here? It's like, come on. I couldn't stand that, dude. Like, because then all the Patriot fans disappeared. Sort of like the LeBron thing, too. LeBron came out there, was a Cavalier fan. Laker fans hated him. LeBron went to Miami. He was, all of a sudden people were wearing Heat jerseys. In LA, Cleveland fans were wearing those jerseys, or LeBron fans were wearing Cleveland jerseys. And then when he went to the Lakers, the funny thing about him going to Lakers, though, not as much fans like that. I remember everyone saying, man, how could he come here after Kobe passed? Or coming to this team, after Kobe's passed, I should say. And then, man, they hated him for that. So it was hilarious. Pedro says the Angels failed their assignment. They are supposed to lose to the Rangers on purpose so that the Astros could win the division. Don't worry about us in the division, man. I mean, if you're worried about the Angels in the division, you're thinking about the wrong team. Mateo says 49ers have an easy-ass schedule. They do this year. Baldwin says the Cowboys have all my hate. Giants beat the Brady's twice. This year's Niners will be a sleeper team and take it all. I don't think so, man. I think the Niners are in trouble this year. I really do. Became a Giants fan with Jeff Hostetler, former Raider. Gotta love that. Corey says love the Cowboys, and that's the thing too. A lot of Angel fans, a lot of Dodger fans. For the most part, Dodger fans are either Cowboy fans or diehard Niner fans, which makes no sense. When it comes to like that would be most, right? But there's a lot of LA fans that are Cowboy fans that are fans of other teams. Because again, when the Niners left, when the Rams when the Rams left, and when the Raiders left, it's like, who do we root for? Nobody wanted to go down south and root for the Chargers. People found a player that they liked on a certain team or a logo and ran with it, or whoever was hot, they bandwagoned. And I'm thinking, I've always been under the impression that if your baseball team leaves, your basketball team leaves, whatever, if you choose to pick another team, that you're totally good with that. But if you're over the age of 18 and you're bandwagoning different teams because certain players, you need to get a life, dude. You're over the age of 18. You need to find, you should have found a team by then and just stick with them, dude. I have so much love for the fans that actually are able to stick with a team like the Angels and stay with them all throughout this crap. So yeah, that's how it works right there. I used to be an Angels fan, but my favorite NFL team is the Bucks. Well, you probably have, at least if you're a Bucks fan, you can remember the Brad the Bad Johnson and all those other guys. I mean, John Lynch when he was a safety before. Yeah, I can rattle off some names, but I think what happens is when you're a fan of the Angels or the Dodgers, you tend to have more like I've ran into so many Angel fans that are just fans of different teams. Like there's not one that you could say that most Angel fans follow. I mean, yeah, the Rams used to play there, but man, it's just not that many Rams fans that are Angels fans for the most part, or vice versa. Angel fans are more open to other teams. Like I know a lot of Angel fans that are Bears fans, Packers fans, you name it. But there's not too many of them that are Rams fans anymore. Diehard Angels fans, but I don't like Artie. Can't wait for new ownership. There you go. Michael Scott, another player right there. Man, we went all over the place here tonight. There's still a lot of Raider fans in LA. Yes, since Locked On Dodgers it just finished, let's Locked On the Niners. No, it's not. I get enough of Locked On Niners with my girl, man. She's a big time Niners fan. So I have to put up with that crap. Let's see. Well, I'm not a Nugget fan. While I'm a Nugget fan, Storms X. Well, that's different. That's really different right there. See, Halo Titties, Heaty Titties says, I love the Patriots since I was a little kid. Okay. Joshua says, Niners window is closed. Book it. Aging stars. Purdy's contract will prove to set them back in the salary cap. Consistent shortcoming, especially in the Super Bowl. Ooh, that could be right, because I would love for that to happen. I'm a huge Seahawks fan. We need to reclaim that division. Demetrio says, Angels, Ducks, Clips, Galaxy, Rams are my 5. There you go. Niners, Earthquakes, Warriors, Niners, and Angels. So he has Niners twice. Raiders fans are the mostly in Big House, the Pen. Yes. J-Rod says, Joe Adele in the home run derby. No, leave his swing alone, my man. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. I love the way he's swinging right now. Let's not mess up that at bat. Patriots are going to be back this year. Dolphins suck. Oh, my gosh. Patriots fan. Yeah, sure. 49ers will. Oh, jeez. I don't think so, my man. Don't think so. All right, so we got 200 people watching live, 151 over there on X, 50 on Halos in the Infield here on YouTube. And then we got another 20 or so on TikTok. Appreciate that. Loving all the content and everything that came on tonight. Angels win. We're going to move on till tomorrow's game. Again, Corbin against Kowanowitz. Look for a lot of runs to be scored in that game, or it can be something stupid like 2-1. We'll see what happens with the Angels tomorrow. Pedro says, should the Angels trade away if they are too many games behind? Yes, absolutely. You don't, if you're 5 or over, forget it. 4 or under, you're going to wind up spending or trading, actually. All right, so with that being said, it's been a long show. Appreciate everybody. My voice is kind of crappy right now, dude, because I'm still getting over that. I can't shake the whole throat thing, man. I'm like Gavin. I have to ask him about how he does it with all those nuts. But, appreciate everybody out there commenting. And we'll see how it goes tomorrow. I'll be at the stadium, so if you want to come by and say hi, I'll be in 260 right next to the goddamn cameraman. You can't miss me right there. Appreciate each and every last one of you. One more thing tonight, we do have Max Market Pros. If you're looking to get your website to the next base and get up to the top of the leaderboard in Google and other things as far as search engines, and you have a business or a website or anything, go to maxmarketpros.com. Tell them Halos in the Infield sent you. They will hook you up and help you out because they know how to get companies to a better level. So with everything said, thank you, Heedy Teedies. Have a good night, everybody. We'll catch you on the flip side tomorrow. Go Angels.